My name is Edwin Olo, and I am the Microsoft Solutions Lead here at Sibasi. I'll be your host for today, and as we explore how technology can help nonprofits across Africa work smarter, scale faster, and deliver greater impact. So you're welcome. Right. So as you come in, a bit of housekeeping before we get started, just a few quick notes to make your experience smooth and enjoyable. So this session is live and we'll be capturing the highlights. So expect a polished recording delivered to your inbox within 6 business days. We also love your engagement and are here to make this experience valuable for you. So our live Q&A is open throughout the session. So feel free to drop your questions or comments at any time. So welcome again. So with that housekeeping out of the way, let's jump right into today's topics. All right. So we'll be kicking things off with a welcome note and introductions just to set the stage for today's conversation. And then we will dive into some of the common nonprofit challenges, a real look at what NGOs are facing today and how smart technology can align with those needs. And then next, we'll get hands-on with practical tech solutions for everyday NGO work. These are real tools, real use cases, and real strategies you can apply the moment you leave this session. After that, we'll open the floor for live Q&A and resource sharing. This is your space to ask, explore, and engage. We want to hear your questions and experiences. And then finally, we'll wrap things up with closing and next steps, giving you clear, actionable pathways to continue your digital transformation journey. So buckle up. It's going to be an insightful, inspiring, and power-packed session. And therefore, to start us off, to officially open up our event, please welcome Salome Gore, who's a Microsoft SureStep ambassador at Foresight. So Salome is passionate about helping NGOs unlock the power of technology, and she'll be setting the tone for today's conversation. So a warm welcome to you, Salome.
Thank you so much, Edwin, for that beautiful introduction. So with that being said, let me share my screen here for a second. I know it's always one of those tech moments, but it should be seamless. Okay, so I'm just going to go from current slide. Okay, cool. So good morning, everyone. My name is Salome Gawa. I'm the Microsoft SureStep ambassador for K-12 and charities representing Foresight Dynamics Africa, a Microsoft indirect provider. Thank you. So thank you again, Edwin, for that great introduction and for our housekeeping rules. I'll try and stay on it. So giving you a brief introduction of Microsoft Elevate, which was previously called Microsoft TSI. Let's jump right in. At Foresight, we work alongside C-Spin direct resellers like Sibasi to ensure that nonprofits and schools don't just get licenses, but the right solutions at the right value tailored to their needs. So let me walk you through Microsoft Elevate and highlight some of the licensing benefits. Microsoft Elevate brings philanthropy, nonprofit licensing, and education initiatives together into one program. Over the next 5 years, Microsoft has committed $4 billion globally. Through our Elevate Academy, the goal is to help 20 million people achieve AI skills credentials by 2027. Elevate is designed to deliver scalable and sustainable impact for nonprofits and schools. One of the biggest advantages of Elevate is in licensing. When you purchase through a Microsoft partner, such as Sibasi, eligible nonprofits and schools can access Microsoft Cloud solutions at up to a 75% discounted rate. And here's a key benefit. Nonprofits can also receive 300 business basic licenses at zero cost, as well as 10 Power App per user licenses at zero cost. This means you can empower your staff or volunteers with enterprise-grade tools while still keeping costs predictable and affordable. In education, Microsoft uses a 140 licensing ratio. For every paid faculty license, up to 40 student licenses are included at no additional cost. That makes licensing extremely cost-effective for schools, especially with discounted Microsoft 365 A3 and A5 for education plans. We're also investing into initiatives like Hour of AI with co.org, plus 20 million in optimization services, ensuring schools are equipped for safe AI-driven learning. And to close off with my part, Elevate is not just about technology, it's about combining grants, licensing, and skilling to create a lasting change. Working with a Microsoft partner like Sibasi ensures these solutions aren't just accessible, but practical, affordable, and tailored to your sector. So, with that being said, I'll hand back over to Edwin, who will moderate the discussion further. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Salome. Let me just again share my screen here just to get us to the next session. All right, let me know if you can see my screen.
I can see your screen.
Oh, great. Right. Thank you, Salama, for that. And it's interesting to see how Microsoft is coming in to help, nonprofits to be able to be agile and deliver the impact that they need to deliver for their communities and the people that they work with. And just that helps us to segue into this particular next session, which we're looking at what are some of the common challenges for nonprofits, right? So technically, when you're looking at nonprofits today, nonprofits are kind of like, navigating a rapidly shifting landscape. And some of the challenges are such, number one, there's demands for services is rising faster than the capacity, right? And then there's issues around staffing shortages, which are straining operations. There's also the idea of, donor numbers that are shrinking and also the retention rates are slipping out, right? There's also the idea around, personalized engagement remaining inconsistent, yet being a vital component in terms of ensuring that you are able to maintain, both your donors and the people that you are serving. There's also the idea around, the financial stability, around the ecosystem is increasingly uncertain. And so it's it's becoming very unpredictable in terms of, how finances are going to work and the landscape of the nonprofit sector. And lastly, we are looking at, the idea of outdated technology, and this technology is slowing down decision making and service delivery. So these are some of the top of the mind challenges that we, have interacted based off of our interaction with NPOs. They have raised them out, and this do not have to be the end of the story. There's good news. The fact that AI is now giving nonprofits the ability to work smarter, respond faster, and amplify their impact. With the right tools, organizations can streamline operations, unlock insights from their data, protect sensitive information, and stay compliant with the donor and funding requirements. And across our conversations with nonprofits leaders, three consistent themes emerge, right? Number one is the need to deliver programs more effectively. Number two is the need to retain donors more meaningfully. And number three is the need to run operations more securely and efficiently. And so the question is, how do we get to achieve this? I'm so glad you asked. This is exactly where Sibasi comes in. As a proud Microsoft Solutions partner, we help nonprofits to harness technology in practical, accessible, and high impact ways. Our mission is deeply embedded in our name, and which is to provide services and solutions that are deeply invested in and integrated within your organization, enabling you to achieve success and maximize your impact. So this could be from modernizing workflows to building data-driven systems and AI-powered tools. We equip your organization to overcome today's challenges and deliver greater value to the communities that you serve. And for us to do this, we actually offer three core solutions designed specifically for nonprofits. First is our development services, which focus on building systems from the ground up, creating custom, mission aligned tools that fit the unique ways that nonprofits work. Secondly, we do this through our deployment services. We extend and enhance the digital platform that organizations are already using, shaping them to better support nonprofit programs, operations, and reporting needs. And then finally, our technology and consulting and support services ensure that nonprofits get the very best out of their technology investments, helping them to work smarter, stay secure, and operate with confidence. So here are some of the solutions that you probably would want to consider for your nonprofit. So for example, you could consider board management, which helps you to centralize your agendas, documents, and decision making governance more efficient. Or probably if you're struggling with things around expense claim and impress processing, we could be able to help you with that to automate your financial approvals, ensuring transparency and faster fund management. Or you could consider document management, which secures your files, enables collaboration and maintains compliance. Or probably you'd be interested in approval workflow automation that helps speed up routine approvals while providing accountability. Or you might actually be interested in donor engagement and proposal tracking that helps nonprofits to manage interactions, monitor funding opportunities, and strengthen relationships with supporters. These are just but a few examples from the wide range of technology solutions that nonprofits can leverage to improve their efficiency, strengthen their governance, and maximize impact. And here at Sebasi, we have partnered with a diverse range of nonprofits across Africa. Our experience includes working with public health institutions like APHF, agroecology and sustainable farming organizations such as BioVision African Trust, and faith-centered accountability bodies like AFCA. We've also supported wildlife and community conservancy groups like KWCA, global humanitarian responders such as Concern Worldwide, and financial market development institutions like FSD. In addition, we have worked with community empowerment initiatives like Upendo, data-driven climate and earth observation leaders such as Digital Earth Africa, and youth-focused organizations like YSW Kenya. This breadth of experience demonstrates our ability to serve nonprofits of all sizes and missions, helping each of them to leverage the technology and to accelerate impact across the continent. Right? And so here are some of the case studies that we could share. There's a lot of them, but these are the ones that we have time for. So for example, for APHF, while we provide them with comprehensive managed IT services that enable them to focus on their core public health mission while maximizing the value of their IT infrastructure. So that would be that particular technology consulting and services piece, right? For KHA, we developed a patient registry system and data collection application that synchronizes patient information across major hospitals, improving accuracy and continuity of care. And that would be that particular development services piece. For KWCA, we supported their full migration to Microsoft 365 and have recently implemented Power BI to give them powerful data insights and storytelling capabilities for conservation work. So that would be that particular deployment piece, And these are just but a few of the case studies that demonstrate the impact of our solutions across the nonprofit sector. And now for the next part of this particular conversation, I would like to invite none other than Amos Washanga, who's the CEO here at Sebasi and is also a visionary leader in terms of in the tech innovation space for social good. And he will take us through what are the practical tech solutions that your nonprofit can, put into place today. So a warm welcome to you, Amos Oshanga. Take it away.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Edwin. Let me just confirm my screen can be seen. Somebody could confirm if we can see the presentation.
I can see the
Yes, you
presentation.
can see it.
Oh, fantastic. And thank you so much, Edwin. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's a pleasure connecting today. My name is Amos, as you've heard. I'm from Sibasi, and on behalf of Sibasi, Microsoft Elevate and Foresight team, I'm very excited to have this opportunity to actually take you through, practical solutions for nonprofits. And in today's webinar, what we hope to actually go through is not just discuss the theory of it, but also get to see a live showcase of what it looks like and the real world solutions that are provided from the Microsoft ecosystem. So within this particular session and this part of the presentation, our goal of this is simple: to show you practical, real world ways Microsoft technology can help you in directly, deliver programs more effectively, engage with your stakeholders, engage with your donors in a much more better way, and streamline also your internal operations. And we'll walk through, actual use cases. In fact, just to kick off, I thought to highlight, some of the organizations that are similar to yours that are using various technologies that are provided by Microsoft to either enrich staff experiences or deliver impactful programs, and even in the engagement, with the supporters and funders, and as well as transforming internal operations. So, for example, AR Care reduce the time spent in terms of the manual data collection and allowing the staff to really focus on resident care. Or even another use case where, there is a use of AI by Opportunity International to be able to deploy, chatbots that can work with their local languages and overcome, literacy barriers. And what we are hoping is that by the time we are done with this session, then you'll be able to deliver impactful programs. So what we've seen in our engagements with various nonprofits is that there is a breakdown in terms of the data, in terms of information flow across various teams. So you'll have your fundraising team that might be working with Excels, and in this case, if one of the computers gets lost, or that had that particular file, then you lose all that information in terms of what you're doing, whether it is on the fundraising side, or even when you have your field team going to collecting some data about your beneficiaries and consolidating that, preparation of the various reports for your monitoring and evaluation, or even, your programs and operations who need to coordinate with the field team to determine what procurement we need to do, and ensuring that at the end of the day, also the legal and compliance aspect is also maintained in terms of the data protection and all these many things that are happening in this new age. Of course, this becomes one of the things that we have seen across many different organizations. And what we hope, that through this walkthrough is that you'll get to see some of the technology solutions that help ensure that data is flowing within your organization, such that you are now able to better manage, your engagement with your beneficiaries. For those organizations that you have members that join your particular organization. I think Edwin mentioned, for example, the Kenya Hemophilia Association that has various members. In terms of your engagement with your members, then how you ensure that the internal teams are able to engage in a much more efficient way with your members. In terms of tracking of your activities, or even volunteers that are assisting you in delivering the impact and the programs that you are working on. And at the end of the day, also, your stakeholder engagement and stakeholder management with your donors, partners. And in this case, what we are saying is that once you deploy these various technological solutions that help in collaboration and coordination across your internal teams, then you should be able to get certain benefits. And in this case, the benefits that we've observed, I think with the organizations that we've worked with, span a very wide range of areas. So, for example, if once you deploy these technological solutions, then you expect to get improved efficiency and productivity. On the other hand, that is achieved through better delivery of projects and coordination of across the organization, which means you have enhanced transparency and accountability. At the end of the day, also, having your teams working very closely together, where you have your team in the field and the team at the, your head office that is coordinating the various activities, having better collaboration and engagement, which directly leads to cost savings, And on another side, also in terms of your code, when you have all this information, then you can do better governance, better decision making internally, which in turn leads to better and stronger impact storytelling, which at the end of the day helps in better donor and fundraising management. So having this particular set of solutions, these are some of the benefits that we have observed, by deploying the various, especially within the Microsoft ecosystem, because then we are able to get to this part about being AI fast and AI ready, in terms of being able to use the latest technologies to be able to assist you to work more efficiently and much more faster. Now, in terms of the spectrum of the solutions that I'd want to highlight today, I know we have just about an hour, so I'll try to keep it short and just highlight key areas. And I know we can organize to have a much more detailed walkthrough if you need this. But basically, there's the various spectrum of the various solutions. So we have solutions that help with your outreach, around fundraising, stakeholder engagement, and these help you to have stronger relationships. Then in the middle, within the organization, you have better organizational efficiency, as well as internal operations become much more better, which helps to reduce cost and improve your productivity. And in the far spectrum, in terms of execution of your programs, then this particular set of tools assist in ensuring that your programs are done in a much more better way. Now, the set of solutions is quite varied, and what I'll be trying to showcase is just this various set of tools, starting from basic tools that vary in complexity and the capabilities. And as you progress, you have specialized tools that then work together and are able to help you achieve these benefits that I'm mentioning. So in terms of this, I thought to highlight a couple. One is around productivity and collaboration. So we've had use cases where, as you're starting off the nonprofit, you probably set up your website, of course, for communication, and you have this email service that in most cases might not bring no, you cannot be able to collaborate well, or whether seeing the other team members' calendars. You cannot be able, sometimes the email fails, you're not able to receive mails and so forth. So that becomes the most basic level of productivity. But also with tools like Microsoft Teams, with tools such as, the online Word, the collaboration aspect of creation of the reports and so forth becomes quite essential and quite good. And I'll get to show you even a step further, where we get to see how AI now comes to help you in your day-to-day productivity and being able to actually deliver outstanding results and have better collaboration across your teams. The next set of tools is around stakeholder engagement. So we have certain tools such as OpenEdX that you can deploy to do your e-learning and community enablement. If you are doing, you want to train your beneficiaries, or you have a community that you want to, to engage, then you can deploy this particular tool and set up your courses for e-learning. But besides that, there is also specialized tools that can assist you now with tracking your donor engagement, tools that assist you with the volunteer tracking, and all these are based off Microsoft Dynamics 365. Then we have another part within the execution aspect, within the operational efficiency around workflows and automation. What Edwin just mentioned in terms of automating your processes such as expense claims, automating your processes such as contracts management, or any other particular internal processes. And these tools can work independently, but can also be combined to work, and create integrated systems such that with tools such as the Microsoft Dynamics Business Central, then you are able to do accounting, budgeting, procurement, and even other functionalities such as HR, staff onboarding, leave management, leave tracking, and so forth. Now, on the far side of execution, one of the key things is that we need to be able to collect data. We need to be able to track cases. If you're dealing with beneficiaries and you need to track, the various cases that might be coming from the end users and make sure that you are assisting them, then that there are tools that now would assist you within the Microsoft ecosystem. But also on another side, for donor reporting, you may need to actually create delivery frameworks and be able to track, certain aspects of the programs. So whether you use, for example, if you use Logframe, theory of change, results-based framework, all these various various frameworks can be configured and be set up within these systems, and they help you in terms of efficient reporting, and at the end of the day, even giving your executive, internal executive, your board, as well as your donors and other partners that you're working with, so that the efficiency of your M&E processes is done very well. And at the end of the day, once you have this there's the impact story that you know of what you're doing in the field. Then at the end of the day, using Copilot, using Power BI, you can be able to create some outstanding reports. And if you have a chance, you can reach out to us, and we'll get to show you various use cases of how we've deployed this for other organizations similar to yours. But at the end, on another side, you may need, with your board who may not be involved in the day-to-day engagement, you may need to have a solution such as eBoard that can assist you with engagement with your board. Now, that being said, I think I've done a quick overview of what are the possibilities in terms of the solutions. So let's dive in. I'll start off by just talking about the basics on when you go to office.com. Ideally, in this particular account, I've already logged in, and I'll get to show you some of the interesting things that you can be able to do around this. So the first bit, of course, is that I know all of us are familiar with Copilot. If not, you might be familiar with ChatGPT or any of the other tools. One of the biggest advantages you get with Copilot is that the information that you get to upload and engage with remains within the organization, and it's not used for training. The risk that you run in using any of the other AI tools is that you might share beneficiary data outside your organization, and then there's a risk that it might leak and it might be used for training, and then you find that you're not adhering to the various data protection aspects that are available. Now, the good thing is that I know most of us are already familiar with this. I'll want to just quickly jump into something that you may not be immediately familiar, what we are calling AI agents. So in this case, this is an agent that we've set up before, and the agent basically is set up to assist in preparation of proposals. And so what ideally we would do is just tell it, and this is a sample prompt. Then at the end of the day, I would come and say, I want to upload, and then go and say, let me see if I have. Yes, so this is a sample request for application. Once I select it, it uploads into this. And at the end of the day, when I click on just that, what the agent is supposed to do is just go through the particular request for proposals, review the details of what is required, and then tell me, first of all, is this what is it that I'm supposed to actually, what is required? First, it just evaluates whether it's something that we as an organization can be able to respond to. Once I'm confident about that, I can just say, okay, just generate, draft the full proposal. Or I can start off with, let's go through the executive summary. Let's go through the problem statement. And this in itself makes it really easy to be able to create your reports. And as I mentioned, ensuring that you have better productivity on your day-to-day. And we won't go through the entire process, but basically it goes off step by step, generating content that I can copy paste and put in a document, or I can actually tell it that I want to, once it has generated these particular aspects, finally generate and give me an export that I can be able to open in a different window. On another side, I can go to the apps, and let me just get to show you some of the other things that you can do with Outlook. So for those of us who are still using, we call it cPanel emails, or rather the email service that sometimes may have frustrated you that, emails are not coming in or something is getting lost, then the Office 365 Outlook allows you to have not only, professional email, setting up your e-signature. Sometimes within your e-signature, you want to be able to, put the latest report that we are setting up and so forth. If you communicate with us, you'll see once I respond to you, you'll have a banner down there that talks about some of the latest things that you're doing. If you'd want to set up that, then this in itself assists with Outlook, gives you professional email. But that's just the first step. When you have AI, you have this set of all long mails that you may not have read, then AI can assist you in quickly being able to get, first of all, your summarization. Or if I want to draft an email, let me say I want to reply, then AI can also assist in allowing me to just quickly say I want to just draft a response of this, and by clicking 2-3 steps, it allows me to actually be able to generate the text for what I'm supposed to actually respond. And once I have it, of course, then I'm able to see. I'm able to evaluate and see if it is what it's okay, and then I can send it over. On another side, I'd want to go to this other tool called OneDrive. If you may not be already familiar, OneDrive allows you to put personal documents on the cloud, meaning in the example that I mentioned, if you lose the laptop and you had all this beneficiary data that you had collected and it's saved on an Excel file, then in this case, saving it online meaning on OneDrive, first of all, it's private, it's secure, and it remains internal, but you can be able to share this with other team members. Sharing with other team members allows you to be able to collaborate with other teams, other team members within your organization, or even, and this is the best part about OneDrive and SharePoint and all these Microsoft tools, is that you can set up what we call compliance. And I think at a later point, I'll mention some of the licenses that are essential and what are the benefits that you get with this. But one of the things that I wanted to quickly highlight is, for example, if I have this tool, of course, I have my Copilot and it's able to do, we've seen summarization, we are familiar with this. But on another side is that I can be able to say, give me an audio file. And when I click on it, it more or less reads through the file. And as it reads through, it tries to create a summary of whatever the file is about. And in this case, we just give it a few seconds. I'll be able to actually listen in on what the file is about. The best part about this is that you can even switch it to what we call podcast style, where it is as if two people are conversing. And I've seen and I've actually used this.
Welcome to this audio summary focusing on the Green Finance Partnership Project proposal,
I don't know whether
officially titled Advancing Carbon Neutral Investment and Capacity Building in African Financial Markets, with emphasis on.
So that is just a sample of the AI reading through the document. And I was saying that I have used this, when you're going for a meeting, you need to just understand what a certain report is about, or you can even go to what I was mentioning, the podcast style, that allows you to be able to listen in as if it is two individuals that are conversing, and they are able to actually engage, and you can listen in and understand what the various reports are about. This is more or less around what I would call OneDrive. Now, because of time, I'd want to quickly switch to another perspective. I know in certain use cases, we've probably engaged and talked about.
Welcome to today's discussion, where we'll be exploring the Green Finance Partnership Project proposal, advancing carbon neutral investment and capacity building in African financial markets, authored by the Green Finance Partnership Initiative. Our focus is on the pathway to strengthening financial.
Anyway, I'll post it there so that we can move on because of time. On another side, one of the key aspects about you collaborating with your internal teams, or collaborating with your volunteers, or collaborating with various beneficiaries that may be involved in your day-to-day, is that you may want to have an informational site and which should be secure. In this case, what you're looking at is not your website where you're publishing information for everyone. We're talking about having information that is internal. So whether you want to have it in terms of just being able to put together something like this that allows you to click and go and see various the strategic plan and so forth, or even see latest information that is the latest news and it gets published, you can be able to see that, or seeing planned events and whatever information that you want to have collaborator, to collaborate with the various teams, including having links to various systems that you operate with internally, where your internal team can actually land and get to see. This is what we call an intranet. And the intranet in this case allows you to be able to communicate internally, not internally only with your internal teams, but also if you're working with volunteers or if you're working with teams, but you want to keep certain information secure, then you use what we call SharePoint intranet to be able to set this up. On another front, there's another use case that is very interesting in terms of document management. So as I mentioned, OneDrive really good for putting together set of documents that you may, that are personal, that you want to keep secure, they're yours. But on the flip side, you may want to actually collaborate and have, various engagements that you're doing with the various teams, and you want to make sure that you can track certain tasks, you can automate various processes, and in this case also AI comes in, because all this information is sitting within your centralized repository. You're able to actually centralize the where the documents actually gets to sit. So in this case, I'll get to show you, for example, this is our projects. So for our projects, we more or less create a project folder, and within the project folder, then we can come in and say, okay, this is various information, and we can organize it, the way you would have on your local machine. I know some of us use the desktop as where we put all our documents, but sometimes putting it in well organized in terms of the projects then allows you to have what we call the document management, such that at any one point, even when projects are executed and closed, you can be able to have all that information sitting in this space. Now, the best part about this is that we are able to secure the account that I've logged in with is mine. So I have full access to all the areas. But let's say if we have our teams that should not have access to finance or HR, then you are able to actually secure and make sure that you have this compliance levels actually being managed very well. Now, that being said, we can have this, there's a solution that Microsoft offer within this Office 365 stack called Lists. Now, Lists allows you to be able to create, for example, in this case, I can create a list of, staff, motivational quotes, or whatever it is that I normally would be managing. Let me just get to show you from this particular account. If I go to the lists, I think earlier I was trying to do a setup for volunteers. And the best part about this is that if you already have your information in Excel, in the case that I was talking about, and you want to be able to quickly load this onto the system, then you can just go and say, right now, if you're already on Office 365, select you want to create a new list and say that my source is Excel. I say I want to upload, and if I come here, I have my sample beneficiaries. Then once I select, what it will do is that it will go read the Excel file and create my list. The various advantages that you get with the lists is that, let me just say, I'll skip the various process, the actual process. Let me just skip this and just get to show you this around volunteers, is that I am able to actually load this into what we call Power BI. And Power BI allows you to now create fancy, nice looking dashboards that allows you to actually be able to communicate with your donors. Now, before we jump into the Power BI side, I want to highlight quickly one of the exciting solutions around now tracking the advanced solutions, what I was talking about, Dynamics 365. So within Dynamics 365, you get, for example, this is a solution that is provided by Microsoft called Grants Management. And in this case, it gives me the list of activities of what I need to do, and it's personalized, filtering, security, all that is included. But on the other side, you can be able to even say that you want to track our requests, want to track the awards, want to track any disbursements that have already been done, and even reports that are submitted, from the various grantees. We can be able to set them up on this particular solution. Remember earlier I talked about having the delivery frameworks and the objectives and so forth. Then that is also a part of this same Dynamics 365, and it's a possibility to be able to set up. On the flip side, we have developed various solutions that then are available, such as this is a contract management and many other use cases. And this just to show you, some of the big advantages that you can get in terms of setting up. For example, this is a dashboard that tracks, various contracts, any deliverables, milestones, and whatnot that you have within your organization. Now, I know this is a lot to cover, but before we jump back and I get to show you how then do you start, how then do you get to maximize on this, I want to highlight one interesting use case of where you need to communicate with your board. If you go to ebo.cloud, this is a solution hosted and certified by Microsoft. Then you have this particular aspect where you can be able to connect with your board members, setting up, of course, with all those niceties that come with AI. You can be able to do summarization of the document documents. It gives you quick summaries. You can be able to chat with AI to ask it various questions. Of course, those are some of the basics, but basically setting up your calendar, doing things like synchronization of your calendar with your, your board so that you are able to know when they are available. You can communicate, set up meetings and so forth, track activities and what needs to be done. But the other great part is that you get this aspect of reports. And these reports are now built using Microsoft Power BI. Because of time, I'll just pick one or two. The first one I'll pick is the grants report. And within this is a report developed using Power BI. As I mentioned, you collect, first of all, we need to be able to collect all this data and bring it into the system. Then once we have the data in the system, then you are able to, track the opportunities, track your receipts, track your, funds utilization. And this you can be able to do, slicing and dicing of this data. Just after this, I'll get to show you, if you already are on the Microsoft stack, how can you immediately start using this report as it's available for use in your tenant already. The other report that I'll probably want to pick is probably the M&E report. And the M&E report, again, tracks your programs, your activities, allows you to see which programs in the various thematic areas that you might be having, seeing the beneficiaries that you are engaging with. And with this, because of time, I won't go into the nitty-gritties, but basically you're even able to set up GIS maps. You're able to, depending on whatever data that you're picking and what are your reporting requirements, then we are able to actually set that up. This is very nice. And I think the next challenge that we always find is that there is a whole set of many different solutions just from that quick showcase. And this, from what I've shown you, these solutions vary in levels of complexity, capabilities, and it all depends on what your need is. And that's where we come in. We come in as a partner, to sit with you and understand what your use case is and help you identify what is the right solution. Where do you get to start? Now, this all sounds nice, but the quick question is, where do you start today? The first bit around this is, evaluate within your organization, what are the immediate pain points and areas for improvement. Then the next key aspect is that if you've not already done this, then you get to actually go and register within and activate your Microsoft nonprofit offers. And for this, I'd want to show you, because it's a very quick process. Sometimes, when we feel that we have to go and register, it feels like it might be a bit of work. So let me just open one and just take you through this particular process. So if you go right now to ciba.c/NPO, the process is as simple as this. You land on the nonprofit.microsoft.com. The first part that you need to probably do is do an eligibility pre-check. So you select your region. For those who are in Kenya or whatever country that you are coming from, you can be able to select, I've selected Kazakhstan. I could select back, it's Kenya. You select the primary activity that you are engaged in. And what it will tell you is what do you need in terms of the documentation that you need to actually submit for you to be able to get, to be able to be reviewed and get these particular benefits. Then once you say that you have all of this, you just say continue, and let's just give it a second. It takes you to this screen where you provide your name. Ideally, it should be your person. This is who you are as an individual. Ideally, there's specifics. If you would want, we can send you the specifics of who is required to actually register. But basically, it should be somebody who has authority within the organization. And you provide, your organizational email. You provide your details, and then it's a 3-step process. You provide the organizational information, and then you say create account. It's as simple as that. You can get started immediately. On the other side, as I promised, if you are already on the Microsoft 365 stack, we have this site that is called ciba.c/appsource that takes you to the Microsoft marketplace. And when you get there, you'll see some of those items that I was talking about, whether it is eBoard, whether it is your reporting, including the one that I highlighted, the grants report. You can quickly be able to say add it to your tenant, and once you select it, it will be added to your tenant, and you can be able to actually connect it with your data. And if you have any challenges, of course, we are here to assist. So We have been doing this. I think we are currently celebrating 8 years of innovation and impact. And you can reach out to me directly. These are my personal contacts. If you would want, you can quickly go to siba.c/Amos. You'll get to see my calendar and you can book immediately. But at the end of the day, we are here for you. We are here to assist you along with the Microsoft and Foresight team, to be able to help you on board and get to maximize on these particular benefits that are there. At this particular point, I'd want to request if you can take a moment to just scan the QR code or just go to siba.c/webinar feedback. You can start giving us feedback, but I'll hand over back to Edwin for the Q&A session. Thank you so much. Edwin, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Amos, for that insightful, practical hands-on session. And I know, of course, we do not have enough time to delve into each and every of the applications that we have and that also Microsoft has put out there for nonprofits to benefit. But I think the whole idea around this particular webinar is just to whet your appetite in terms of what are the things and what are the next steps that you can be able to take as a nonprofit to elevate the experience and to be able to provide that needed success and impact for your organization. So thank you so much for that. And I think at this juncture, would want to, open up the floor for any questions in terms of anything that was raised. I know Salome had started with, some interesting and exciting grants and offers that Microsoft has, and we have also taken you through some of the applications that we have been able to put together for nonprofits before. So if there's any questions that you have at the moment with regards to any of the things that we've shared, now is your time. Would love to engage with you, would want to hear your experience. Would have different sets of people here. We probably have organizations and nonprofits who are trying to figure their way around technology, and that's why we are here, trying to see how we can be able to help you to navigate that particular journey. Probably you're not on Microsoft 365, you're struggling from an email perspective or collaboration perspective. We are able to help you to make that particular transition. And as Salome said, there are grant licenses, so you can actually start with the business grade email and business grade productivity tools that Microsoft have provided, we could actually call it at no cost to you as a nonprofit, just to get you started. And there's also some juicy stuff that comes on with that. So feel free to drop in your comment, your question in the chat, and we are right here to be able to answer you.
Right, let's wait a few minutes. So while we wait, I also want to emphasize the massive discount you receive, especially for your accounting software and your HR software. Specifically, if you're currently running on-premise solutions, it's very important to take into account the amount of funding that you'd be saving by going to the cloud. And by going to the cloud, you're not giving up your on-premise environment. There's something that I like to shorten. It's called DUR. It's short for dual use access rights, which allows you to still have access to your on-premise environment. So if anyone has any questions around that, please feel free to pop them through. I'd be happy to address any of those questions or pop them through to Edwin or Amos. Okay, let's check here in the Q&A. Okay, I see what level of technical knowledge is needed to use these solutions. Amos, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, fantastic. So for your productivity, I think it's for everyone. All of us use email. All of us would use, we need to communicate. We need to, engage and collaborate across various teams. So it's very easy to get started. It's very easy to, I think in most of the deployments that we do, we only do normally a 1 hour onboarding session where we show you how to access, how to, engage, how to use Teams for your collaboration, how to use, SharePoint for storing your documents, how to use OneDrive, and it's normally very straightforward. we normally are able to actually do the walkthrough, and about an hour, you should be good to go. I think the bit that comes on is us understanding your processes and making sure that we can put to the various aspects that I was talking about in terms of the security compliance and ensuring that there's a security of your information. And a good use case is you do not want HR information. For example, your Excel that has all your staff and all the personal details being shared across the entire organization. So those now become a bit where we need to come in as the technical experts, set it up. But once we set it up in terms of the security and so forth, it becomes very easy to use. But in terms of usability, ease of use, fantastic and easy to actually get started. I hope I've managed to answer that question.
No, I think you have. Thank you, Amos. Let's see. Okay. So I'm gonna quickly see. So also, next one, let's go from the bottom. Okay. Can AI help automate grading or lesson planning?
100%. I think in terms of automations and in this bit, what we're talking about, agentic AI, we can automate a lot of processes. Salome, am I able to explain? Do I have a moment I can explain a very unique use case that we had?
I'd love that, please.
Fantastic. So for us, we receive a lot of vendor quotes, vendor invoices, and we need to do reconciliation. You can think about it in terms of the steps that you need to do in terms of open the quote, open the invoice, go manually, copy paste, put in the ERP, our financial system, and then Dynamics Business Central, and that entire process. It's quite a tedious process. So using AI, we set up a simple process that allowed us to, for all the quotes and invoices that we've received, this tool, the AI goes in, picks the particular invoice, looks at all the specific information that is within the document, and then goes and creates these particular records in the system. If it has any challenge in capturing that information, it lets now the finance team know that, oh, for this one, I was not able to process. And once we get this particular set of information in the system, then it's also able to tag based on, the other aspects in terms of our reporting. I can tell you, it used to take us about 2 or 3 weeks of consolidation just every month of reconciliation and this entire process, so that we're able to actually make this particular vendor payments. But with this simple automation, we're able to actually save a lot of hours. We removed the human aspect, which also was prone to errors. You needed a person to actually enter and validate. But with AI coming in as an agent, it does it and does it fantastic. It does a fantastic job, better than us as human beings. And then it frees us, our team, are able to now focus on much more human-related tasks. That and you can think about this from a proposal preparation process, drafting the first, giving you the first draft, or setting up various aspects of your finance, or those very repetitive processes. AI does a fantastic job. So yes, AI is excellent. And if you want us to show you some, to give you some of these use cases, you can reach out to us and we can get to show you a live walkthrough of how that looks like. That's just one use case. I have quite a number, but I think, Salome, because of time, let me hand over back to you.
Okay, no, I love that example. Thank you so much. So I don't think we have time for all the questions today, but we'll definitely send through a Q&A PDF afterwards addressing every single question, and included with the recording to after the webinar has been concluded, as Edwin mentioned, within 6 business days. So I'm going to actually. So can Microsoft tools track staff certifications and onboard or background checks?
Sorry, onboard
Uh,
the
So can Microsoft Tools track staff certifications, onboardings, or background checks? Apologies, I must have mumbled. Sorry.
No, that's perfect. Yes, 100%. So in terms of the onboarding process, and probably you also want to make sure your staff go through certain e-learning, or modules that you may want to make sure that they understand your culture, they understand how you work. Then there are tools that within the Microsoft ecosystem that would allow you to do this. There are specialized tools that do e-learning, but also within the Microsoft ecosystem using SharePoint, you can set up your internal learning management system that can allow you to have that process of onboarding. Even other aspects such as contract e-signing, if you want to make sure that the process of when a new staff is onboarded, they need to sign off a policy on non-disclosure or a policy of anti-bribery or whatever the policies that you have internally within the organization. Then you can set up, and we already have tools that we've set up for other organizations that actually do this particular aspect of onboarding. Then there is specialized tools for HR that do onboarding, recruitment, that entire life cycle of your team. And in this case, probably you could reach out to us and we can be able to actually do a high level, just understanding first of all what systems you have, and we can tell you what is the level of the solution that would work best for your use case. So yes, 100% available.
Yes, I do believe that topic does require a one-on-one demo session.
Yes.
So please do reach out to the Sabasi team for that one. It's definitely a rabbit hole of a topic, but I believe a one-on-one session would be very useful. In most topics here, I see that's been listed, especially around HR and finance and operations. Because I see also here a question asking, does Dynamics 365 Finance work for small nonprofits, or is Business Central a better fit?
Business Central is a better fit.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's a reason why it's called Business Central, because it
Yeah.
centralizes most of your applications into one single platform. And also by doing that reduces costs so that you don't have a million licenses running on a separate billing. If I'm a customer, I'd rather just pay one single invoice to Sibasi rather than having 5 or 10 different invoices coming my way. It's just a nightmare. I'd much rather have one single solution. So yes, definitely. Does Microsoft provide a secure way to store employee/volunteer HR files? I know security is a big focus for Microsoft this year, especially when it comes to AI now in the mix. So I'm also Edwin, who will be taking that question.
Yeah. Edwin, you want to take it or I go ahead?
Just take it here.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, within the Microsoft ecosystem, I think there is, and this is where we recommend solutions such as Microsoft 365 Business Premium, because it already comes with Microsoft Purview that assists in setting up things like confidentiality that can ensure that you do not have any leakage of information. So with this, you set it up, and we'll assist you in setting up those policies such that even if somebody accidentally uploads a file that is supposed to be strictly confidential, then that is automatically tagged and secured such that it will only be accessible by the team that should be having that particular set of access. So Microsoft Business Premium is the right license if you are, you're looking at that aspect of automated security. But by default, Microsoft 365, whether you're using any of the tools, already comes out of box with the security inbuilt. So that once we set up, your document management system on SharePoint, one of the key things that we look at is, as I was showcasing, you make sure that certain libraries are secured, and only teams that should access that information actually get to access. And once we set that up, even the AI tools that they use this to understand your environment, they will respect that you're trying to ask something and you're not supposed to actually see that in particular information. Then the AI tools actually take care of that particular perspective. So there is a basic level already included part of Microsoft 365. But if you are, you'd want to set up compliance policies and the next level of security, then you go with the Microsoft Business Premium that now brings in a higher level of compliance and governance across your entire organization.
Very good. I love that question. And then one last question, but I do believe it has a powerful remark, because I know a lot of the times you don't know, okay, I need to buy Azure, I need to buy Modern Work, I need to buy BizApps, Business Central for my accounting software. And you don't know, can I get all of this from Sibasi? The answer is yes, definitely. Sibasi is one of those unicorns within the Microsoft CSP program that specializes in all Microsoft workloads from on-premise to the cloud. So the question here listed, and honestly, is does Sibasi support Microsoft Dynamics? Such a simple question, but I can definitely confidently say yes. Sibasi has done a few implementations, and I can even say that I recommend Sibasi to other CSP resellers to partner up with to ensure that they implement the customer's Business Central environment successfully, whether it's to partner up with Sibasi and learn from Sibasi or create a long-lasting partnership. So that's something that I also do motivate. The most important part for Business Central is the implementation and having a trustworthy partner to work with, such as Sibasi, where you can rely on, and that once your services are up and running, that you also have that ongoing IT support from Sibasi. As long as those licenses are active, Sibasi will be at your vegan call. So I don't know if you want to add something on there, Amos or Edward.
100%.
All
100%.
right.
Yes, we support
Yes.
all the solutions, yes, around the Microsoft ecosystem.
Yes. Okay. So I think that how much time do we have left for this session? And
I
seeing
don't
we've
know
got
whether we have
quite a bit of
30
time
minutes. Yeah.
left, so we can take a few more questions.
Yes.
Definitely, I think we ran through the material faster than I thought. So let's see.
There was one from Josephat Njeru who had put as a comment on, is there software within the Microsoft that is good for accounting? Currently using QuickBooks, but wondering if Microsoft has a system to replace QuickBooks and also has timesheets functionality. Yes, Dynamics 365 Business Central, perfect solution for replacing QuickBooks, coming with a lot of extra functionality that you get out of box and can be customized to fit very unique scenarios. So yes, Josephat, it's Dynamics 365 Business Central is the right solution for that.
Yes, and that's a good answer. And also, I see Andrea Bando has also asked a question here. He says, "Hello team, is there any plans for Microsoft Copilot to integrate with other apps? For example, Word for generating document drafts, PowerPoint for quick presentation generation, Excel for quick analysis, Power BI for quick generation of dashboards, etc."
Yeah, I didn't go into the nitty-gritties of that, but basically, if you are on, allow me to just show this because it might benefit most of us. If you already have the Microsoft 365 Copilot license, just go to your Copilot and just say create blank presentation, and then there's a way to actually do the prompts, and we have done training on how best to do the setting up of the prompts. If you don't want us to do it for your organization, we can also assist with that. But basically, let's just give it a second as it's loading.
This is such a magnificent tool, I must say.
Yes, 100%. Let me just go back. Yeah, Oh, sorry. Let me use the Create with Copilot. It's taking a bit of time to load on this other side, but once you are inside a PowerPoint presentation, you can also do this particular process that I want to showcase. But you say Create with Copilot, and then it gives you a place where you can give the prompt. Let's just see if it will load. Probably Salome, you can just be continuing with the next question as I
Yes,
set up this up.
yeah, and Murphy's Law, probably
That
when you
was
hop
live.
off the call,
Oh
then
yeah, it's loading.
suddenly
There it
all of
comes.
all the PPTs will pop up. Yes, so this is honestly, and I could speak on it, this is a really cool um feature for Copilot, especially if you're strapped for time. You need to create a presentation for tomorrow, and you don't have time to make it look all pretty, but you have all the content that you would like to put into it. So you can attach a PDF file or ideally a Word doc to into the chat. As you can see, I'm also doing right in front of you and then asking it to generate a specific PPT with your specific company colors. So it's really cool.
It's taking, let me see, just use a default. Okay.
I think when
As you said,
also
Murphy's
a
Law.
note to say that when you are on a call, I think sometimes, especially a webinar call, Teams has this very cool feature. It's called
Oh yeah,
presentation mode, can take up consume a bit of your internet
resources.
capacity. So just another perk from Teams as well. So let's move on to the next question, but I'm sure you can easily find examples of what Amos was about to show on YouTube as well, or on Microsoft often posts examples of this as well. So we've addressed so next question, the eBoard solution. Is it licensed per user per month like other Microsoft products such as Power BI? Also, does it have full board features, example, conflict of interest, COI, and signature? This is coming from Bahati.
Edwin? Sorry, I was speaking on
No
the opening the
worries.
Power BI, the report, or probably Salome, you could just repeat the question.
The eBoard solution, is it
Yeah.
licensed per user per month like other Microsoft products such as Power BI? Also, does it have a full board feature, example, conflict of interest, COI, and signature? Sorry, I should be having a glass of water next to me. My mouth is a little bit dry. So sorry if I mumble over my words.
Yes, so for non-profits, there is the option of per seat, which is per user per year, or you have the option of also going for per organization. And especially if you have team members that come in and you might want to add on, your leadership team, you might want to have assignment of tasks across your entire organization, then you might want to go with the per organization option. And if you want to have it, hosted on your servers, if you have local on-premise servers, there's also that option. But if you go to ebo.cloud, you'll get more information about that. Right now we have special discount for non-profits. So yes, it's available.
All right, awesome. That's very cool. And I see this is a very cool question. Daniel is asking this question here in the chat. Thank you, Daniel, for this question. With the push for cloud and considering the incident we had last week with Cloudflare that saw quite a number of systems experiencing downtime, what measures have you put in place to ensure users are still up and running if they are fully cloud?
Wow, that's
That
an
is quite
interesting
a
question.
loaded question.
Yes. So I think one of the key things that we make sure that we do in terms of the setup is ensuring that, first of all, we have backups, and there's various backup tools that will back up not just within the Microsoft stack, but also create backups outside of the Microsoft ecosystem if you need that particular set of solution. But by default, I think when we have such a scenario that like the one that we are facing with Cloudflare, this can happen. It can happen at any particular point. One of the things that we ideally talk about is having the disaster recovery aspects set up. So in this case, it's a very rare occasion. I think if you're looking at like the scenario we had, for Cloudflare, it's once in a very long time. And that in itself can cause, of course, disruption of business and, for that particular day. But we might also look at it in the same scenario as you losing power, electricity. If you do not have electricity, you do not have connection to the... So it's the same aspect that just the same way you could lose electricity, then you are not able to actually function. It's a similar aspect. But from what we've seen, setting up local servers compared to having uptime on cloud, local servers have significantly a lot more effort in terms of ensuring the maintenance and uptime compared to having solutions on the cloud. But in this case, I think one of the key things that we assist also from Edwin, what I was talking about in terms of technology consulting, we assist in organizations to set up and have secure, have your backups, ensure that I think we had one a client, was not really our client. We were working with another partner, and they had a challenge where they had a Microsoft Business Central. It wasn't Business Central. I think it was another solution, and they were saying, okay, it's been hacked or something like that, and they were reaching out to us to assist. And we asked them, okay, so where are the backups? They said the backups were sitting on the server, and that in itself, is. So I mean, it becomes a bit of a challenge. So anyway, we managed to assist, but it was a very, very complex process. So in this case, that's one of the things that we assist in advising you that even if you're setting up the disaster recovery processes, ensure that you're not setting this up on the same server. Make sure that they're sitting outside the server, and Microsoft provides a lot of tools to ensure that your backups and uptime is guaranteed. But yeah, 100%. It's one of the things that we keep looking at.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and wanted to add something on there. Yeah, I also know that Microsoft has SLAs that they really love to keep. So that is something that you could also count on. So I know things like what happened with Cloudflare, last week was, one of those off the park moments. But also Microsoft has a commitment in terms of, if your server is down for, a consistent period of time, then there's rebates that you need to get off of that. Some money cash back to you for that, for quote unquote, I don't know, I wouldn't say for not meeting actually that particular SLA. So they're really serious with regards to their uptime. And of course, we'd have things like that. I think a couple of years back, there was the whole CrowdStrike thing. So there would be aspects of, things that happen from a technology standpoint that could not be mitigated at that point. But I know even with this particular incident that, of course, Microsoft is going to, put in measures so that, it's not really tightly coupled. So those are things that would learn, but I know from a vendor perspective, Microsoft is really, really, really keen on making sure that the uptime for the clients is up there as much as possible. So again, cloud first is truly the approach to go with, and I think we're tweaking and we're learning as we go, and it's going to get better. So you should rest secured on that. Yeah.
Okay, very cool, very cool. And now an anonymous question, which I think is very interesting. And keep in mind, if we can't go into too much depth, because some of these topics do require a one-on-one session, please do email the Sibasi team and they'll swiftly schedule that one-on-one team session with you. So the next question is, with the custom agents, can I ground it to specific data sources? For example, a finance agent grounded on an internal financial data.
Sorry.
Let me repeat the question. With the
Yeah.
custom agents, can I ground it to a specific data source? For example, a finance agent grounded on an internal financial data. Sorry, I'm just reading the question as.
Yes, 100%. So the agent that I was showcasing, let me just go back to this. This agent is actually trained to only use the training agent. We've set it up to only use a specific document set, which is sitting within the document management system. So it's possible to train your agents and even tell them that, as an agent, do not even use the internet solution. Just go directly and use, a very specific data set. So it's possible. And we're able to actually set that up in certain use cases. We've had, I think, a use case where you want the agent to be able to advise when a call comes in or an email comes in, it should be able to respond automatically to an external party. Let's say it's your info at npo.com or .org. When you receive that, you want it to be able to read and only use internal information to be able to respond, then that is something that we can be able to actually do. So yes, 100%. We can train the agents to only use specific information.
Yes, and I see our last question, and this might be a tricky question, which I will and can assist with. So, as everyone knows, or as the Sibasi team definitely knows, Microsoft, so let me just read the question. Microsoft has sent us an email saying they'll be discontinuing the Microsoft 365 Business Premium we're currently on. Would our organization still be able to access and use Teams and other essential apps when this happens in February 2026? And do you think Microsoft is scaling down its non-profit offers? And what more cuts should we expect from the Microsoft in this coming months/years? This is coming from Sunday Brown. So yes, many customers are receiving that email that Microsoft is discontinuing the 10 business basic licenses that they used to offer at zero cost. That's why it's so important that should Microsoft still have any grants available for free licenses, that you should take advantage of it immediately. Because yes, these licenses are provided at a no cost rate, but it is not a forever. However, what I can speak on is the discounted licenses. As far as my knowledge goes, the up to the 75% discounted mark or 80% discount mark will be a long reigning offer. So the licenses are quite heavily discounted already, and Microsoft does provide these licenses at a zero cost from time to time to try and see where they can assist the nonprofit communities. So with the essential apps when this happens, so can they still access Teams and other essential apps when this happens? Only if you transition over to the paid for license, which is up to a 75% discount to rate. Then you can still have access, but otherwise you can sit with the Sibasi team and see if there aren't other affordable routes for you to venture down to see what other licenses you could possibly purchase in turn of business premium that won't be so costly for your organization. But yeah, Edwin or Amos, would you like to add anything to that? No?
Yeah, I would just want to also just insist that yes, there's a difference between a grant and the nonprofit pricing, right? So what Microsoft has just discontinued is the grant. So those are the 10 free business premium licenses that come, but the nonprofit pricing is a commitment that is still ongoing. And so for this particular organization, what we can do is have a conversation in terms of who are the users that are on it, what are the the applications that they're running, and then we can figure out workarounds on that, because they still be able to get you could still be able to get your nonprofit pricing on still business premium to maintain that. So depending on what security workloads you're running on, and we could also be able to look at what are some of the other licenses that you could take advantage of within the same space. But Microsoft is still committed to supporting nonprofits from a pricing perspective. perspective. So the pricing is still going to be at a non-profit, profit caliber, not necessarily going to commercial. So I think that's a commitment that you can rest on. I think it's just the grant that was being pulled out. And just to also just reiterate, as Salome has said, there's a lot of organizations that we see that have these grants given to them, but they're not necessarily utilizing them. Yeah, and that's also where we come in. We'd want to help you take advantage of all those grants as much as possible. But because, as Salome has said, for the grants, it's not like a forever thing. So for the time that we have, we'd want to really make good use of that. And so please feel free also to reach out to us in terms of what do you have in your portfolio that you're not utilizing, and we could be able to help you to find ways and means to be able to put all those particular goodies that Microsoft have put out as grants and to be able to ensure that your organization is impactful in that particular sense. So yeah, that would be my 2 cents on that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Edwin, for that additional note there. Very helpful. Okay, and now I do mean it, the last question. I really do mean it now. There are so many apps/platforms. It is a lot to take in. Yes, it is. Is there a feature list? Feature list shows the different plans, starting with the free ones available for nonprofits that already have a Microsoft for Nonprofit license.
Yeah, I think if you go to ciba.c/NPO offers, let me see if I can have that on. You should be able to see this. Sorry, you should be able to see, if you go to ciba.c/NPO offers, you'll see what comes as a grant, what comes as a discounted offer. And if you reach out to us, once you have gone through the application process, even if you have any challenges, we can be able to actually get to highlight and look at what benefits you get. There are quite a number. Some are discounts, some are grants, and we can take you through exactly what you do get. So happy to hop on a call. Our team is on standby, to assist and with the process and even highlight what you get as an offer. Yeah, so the quick link is just this ciba.c/NPO offers. It will take you to the page that Microsoft already highlight. What do you get as an offer, as a grant, what you get as a discount, and so forth. So you can just hop onto that link and you'll be able to see that. Salome, now that I have the opportunity, let me just quickly show it finally agreed. Demo demons. Yeah, so yeah, this is a sample of I think the generation. So it generates something like this based on the document, and you can be able to work on it. Yeah, I think as you said, Salome, when you're doing the presentation, when you're doing the live clicking, it doesn't go through. But if you have a Copilot license, you can test it out. Just go to PowerPoint and just say generate for me and give it a document and test it out and just see how it works. If you have any challenges or even how to do a prompt and so forth, you can reach out to us and we can be able to assist.
And what a beautiful presentation that was just created within seconds. That would have taken you 4 hours, if that. It's so beautiful. And plus, you would have your marketing team. And if you don't have a marketing team, it can be even more challenging because then it's all on you as an individual to add the graphics. Whereas Copilot just added it in there in a matter of minutes. That would have saved me, that does save me a lot of time on the day-to-day. I must say, with the amount of presentations we have to deliver as Microsoft SureStep ambassadors, and I can even say for Amos and Edwin, it is surely also a great help.
Yes, 100%, 100%, yes.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Thank you so much. That is it from the Q&A session. I don't know if you guys want to showcase anything else. I love your demonstrations. I think it's very cool. I do see another question being asked. If you guys are keen to take another question, sure. I do see them coming through, and I believe while we're still on the live webinar, why not? Do you also work with Microsoft for Startup Founders Hub in any way?
Not really. So Microsoft for starters, startup founders, you need to do the application directly with, there's a portal and you use your LinkedIn, you log in with your LinkedIn and you do the submission. There's a team that handles that evaluation process. Once you get the grant and you need to see how to either utilize, you get, for example, Azure credits and you want to set up servers, you want to manage the cost, you want to make sure that, you're optimizing how your servers are set up, then you can reach out to us and we can be able to assist with the process of how do you manage the cost. If you get a $6,000 grant and it's supposed to run for a year and you consume it within a month, you'll have to wait for another. So that's one of the area that we come in is on the expertise of how to manage, the setup, whether it is automating, basic email setting up, productivity, or the far extreme of Microsoft Azure. You want to make sure that you're utilizing the credits properly. Then that in itself is something we can assist with.
Especially Azure.
Yes, especially on the Azure side. Yes, 100%.
Yes. Okay. So I don't see any other questions popping up, but I would like to say thank you to everyone for the interaction and the participation that we've received so far. It's been honestly overwhelmingly good. Thank you so much. And also to the Sibasi team so far. Really, it's been brilliant. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah, and thank you so much to everybody for making the time and being available. I think this is one of the webinars where we've had, I think, everybody who joined sitting through for almost 1.5 hours. And we really appreciate, I think, the opportunity to engage and connect. And we look forward, to not this being a fast, but also having many more engagements. When you give the feedback, if you'd want us to cover any specific topic in much more detail, you can let us know, and we'll be happy to organize. I think between now and up to next year, June, we are organizing various engagements. So happy to to engage further. And as Edwin promised, we'll be sending this over, the recording, plus any materials that you may need. You can reach out to us at any point, and we'll be happy to assist. Thank you so much. I think in Kenya we say asante sana, at least from my end.
Yes, in South Africa, here from where I'm based, we say goodbye and goeiedag in Afrikaans.
Fantastic.
Great.
Good day.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.